Hello, thanks to everyone who's watched my video so far. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of more content I want to share, so it'd be really great if you could do that. But let's get on with this week's video. So the topic this week is the topic of talking, the importance of talking, as the title says. I'm going to share my experiences with opening up about my struggles. I think it's obviously something that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people don't want to talk about it for whatever reason, especially men. So I thought it'd be good to make a video about this and talk about how it worked for me, what made me decide to do it, and yeah, and how it kind of played out for me, really. So I used to spend a lot of time in my apartment on my own. So after I moved out of my parents' house, I had an apartment, and started to develop habits very quickly that were contributing towards my anxiety, and they were very much started to snowball. And I was actually completely oblivious to them as well. So just to sort of give you an idea, a lot of my anxiety was formed around security. So I became quite obsessed with checking things, whether it was checking my car or the front door is locked. And I'll probably dedicate a video to those because I think it's important that I share what habits I had and the impact they had on me, and how I started to overcome them, and yeah, and how that helped me, really. So how did I talk about my issues? So I was away one weekend with family, and I was sat in the car with one of my family members, and just decided to start sharing what I was doing, really. And I just said, you know, all the sort of habits I was doing every day and the things I felt like I needed to do that were very much anxiety driven. And yeah, it was very sort of obvious to them straight away that what I was explaining and you know, the feelings I was getting weren't sort of normal, really, and they weren't something that an average person can really do as much as I was doing without repercussions. So like I said, it was very obvious to them. So that's the first sort of point, is that it you know, you get someone to have a look from the outside in, and they can see, you know, it's very clear to them what's going on, where it's not always clear to yourself. In my case, it really slowly, gradually and naturally developed. So which kind of meant I didn't really know what was best for my well-being. So all I knew is that I didn't feel good, felt extremely anxious. I probably didn't know it was anxiety at the time, but I didn't feel good, and I certainly knew, and you know, how depression felt as well. Yeah, so very obvious to them. I prefer to speak to a few different people, and what kind of happened there is that, you know, I may have spoken to one person, they said, oh, you thought about seeing a psychologist, and I've just gone, But then I've spoken to someone else, and they may have said the same thing, you know, have you thought about going to see a psychologist? And I might have gone, well, yeah, maybe I think I might need to, you know. And obviously there's other forms of help as well, so that's just an example. But the point is, like, you know, even when people are close to you, it's some people's advice maybe have more of an impact on you than others, and it's not saying anything bad about them, it's just how it is, really. So, but how did I know that I needed to talk about it? Well, it just from how I was feeling the majority of the time. I just felt awful, you know, very panicky, and yeah, and that was kind of a big sign for me to know that I needed to talk and see, you know, whether these things I was doing are normal, whether other people do them, or, you know, does it make them feel like this, or, you know. And yeah, and it was generally people that I spoke to were people who had earned the right to know about my issues, whether they've shared problems with me in the past, or I've just, you know, been friends with them for a long time, or people that I, you know, respected or whatever. But yeah, and those are the reasons that, or they were the reasons that I started to see what help was available to me. But yeah, just from kind of sharing this story, I just really want to highlight the importance of talking, because it's you know, we, like I said earlier, we can't always be expected to make the right decisions for ourselves. So if you're not feeling happy, if you're struggling on a day-to-day basis, or you know, or just frequently, then it's certainly worth just mention it to someone. You know, I couldn't. I think I would have struggled for a lot longer than I did if I didn't reach out and mention it. And like I said earlier, I didn't make a big deal out of it. I just kind of casually brought it up in conversation, and yeah, and the person that I said it to was very understanding, and you know, and they just casually told me that I might want to, you know, get some advice, you know, on this, because it was something that was very much holding my back, holding my life back. You know, it's you know, it messes with everything. It messes with work. It messes with, you know, your social life. You know, everything. Getting up in the morning, eating. So, you know, we don't have to struggle this much. So, and this is one thing that will help. So, definitely recommend it. But I'll probably leave it there since I've been rambling on, and I'll do another video soon, I guess. Trying to do them sort of weekly at the moment, but yeah, as I said at the start, please subscribe, drop a comment, hit the like button, whatever you want to do, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot. Cheers.